I have always enjoyed the poetic works of Robert Service. Of course, many associate him with the gold rush and the wide open white north and adventures. Just a moment, Hill. But here in another book called Ballads of a Bohemian, he writes about experiences with all kinds of people in the Semir districts of Paris when he went there as a young writer and artist, just to experience life and freedom and stepping into something that he didn't yet quite know. Well, listen to this one poem. It's just so full of pathos and compassion, I can hardly believe it. It's called The Wee Shop. She risked her all, they told me, bravely sinking the pinched economies of 30 years. And there the little shop was, meek and shrinking, the sum of all her dreams and hopes and fears. Ere it was opened, I would see them in it, the gray-haired dame, the daughter with her crutch, so fond, so happy, hoarding every minute, like artists for the final tender touch. The opening day, I'm sure that, to their seeming, was never shop so wonderful as theirs, with pyramids of jam jars, rubbed to gleaming, such vivid cans of peaches, prunes, and pears, and chocolate, and biscuits in glass cases, and bonbon bottles, many-hued and bright, yet nothing half so radiant as their faces, their eyes of hope, excitement, and delight. I entered. How they waited all aflutter, how awkwardly they weighed my acid drops, and then with all the thanks a tongue could utter, they bowed me from the kindliest of shops. I'm sure that night their customers they numbered, discussed them all in happy breathless speech, and though quite worn and weary ere they slumbered, sent heavenward a little prayer for each. And so I watched with interest redoubled that little shop, spent in it all I had. And when I saw it empty, I was troubled, and when I saw them busy, I was glad. And when I dared to ask how things were going, they told me with a fine and gallant smile, not badly, slow at first, there's never knowing, 'twill certainly pick up in a little while. I'd often seen them through the winter weather, behind the shutters by a light's faint speck, poring o'er books, their faces close together, the lame girl's arm around her mother's neck. They dressed their windows not one time, but 20, each change more pinched, more desperately neat. Alas, I wondered if behind that plenty, the two who owned it had enough to eat. Ah, who would dare to sing of tea and coffee, the sadness of a stock unsold and dead, the petty tragedy of melting toffee, the sordid pathos of stale gingerbread. Ignoble themes, and yet these haggard faces within that little shop. Oh, here, I say, one does not need to look in lofty places for tragic themes. They're around us every day. And so I saw their agony, their fighting, their eyes of fear, their heartbreak, their despair. And there the little shop is, black and blighting, and all the world goes by and does not care. They say she sought her old employer's pity, content to take the pittance he would give. The lame girl, yes, she's working in the city. She coughs a lot. She hasn't long to live. Wow. Thank you, Mr. Service. This is Doug Blair in Waterloo, Ontario.